Departments in our state monitor trends in coronavirus cases. The city of Hartford's using a tracking system to help detect potential outbreaks. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Carolina Cruz got a look at the data that was collected by the Capital City Fire Department.
3 times a week, Hartford Fire Chief Reginald Freeman assumes his role as City Emergency Management Director. He heads a meeting with health providers, city leaders, and other first responders to talk about COVID-19.
We get a perspective daily with this information, but more specifically, we're able to drill down to each and every one of our neighborhoods.
The public data is part of an internal system the fire department uses to track daily presumptive COVID-19 calls. Daily totals from March to August show the city's curve. The west end of Hartford was a hot spot for several weeks, starting in March, before Asylum Hill and Frog Hollow took over. The city now averages less than a handful of daily cases.
Although we're 17 square miles, we can't just paint every neighborhood with the same brush. We may have one neighborhood more impacted than the other. And with this pandemic, there's so many different things that go into why there may be a quote unquote outbreak of new calls or new infections for COVID-19.
When there's an uptick, the Health and Human Services Department starts contact tracing and strategizing to prevent further spread.
All it takes is one large event or a number of people to get complacent for us to go back where we were back in March, where that's nowhere where none of us want to be.
The daily data affects the way firefighters are scheduled.
That's important to us to be able to identify and be able to manage, because we don't want to overburden one particular station. And if we have to rotate personnel in order to give them relief, so they're not just responding to COVID-19 calls all night long, every single day, then we can make those adjustments.
More PPE is allocated to firehouses responding to a higher volume of calls. Chief Freeman says the community needs to stay alert.
Number one, don't get complacent. When you get complacent, you get comfortable. When you get comfortable, people get hurt. This virus still should be taken very seriously. And hygiene, hygiene, hygiene.
The system will come in handy once students return to the classroom.
The schools, we work very closely with our schools. Dr. Torres Rodriguez and her team, they do a phenomenal job with communicating and collaborating. We will be, of course, monitoring what's happening if or when schools do reopen. There will be strict guidelines in place for the teachers and our kids to follow. However, any changes to trends or any increase for calls or cases for COVID-19, certainly that's going to alert the city, and we're going to give every resource we can to make sure that that's addressed promptly.
Reporting in Hartford, Carolina Cruz, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.